upset over Ohio State at home in front of 60,000, I think 129, a record attendance at Autzen Stadium. Man, I was hyped. I was so hyped. When Howard slid and the game ended, I got so excited. I started jumping up and down in my living room, and I hit my head on the the light fixture hanging from the wall. My wife is just laughing hysterically at me, and I was hyped. It was very nice to watch the Ducks get that win. The AP poll came out recently. They have moved up to number 2. So go Ducks. That's how I'm starting this Blazers pregame show. This is Blazers pregame, Blazers game day. I am your host, Chris Burkhardt. We're going to be here for the next hour, getting you ready for Blazers versus Kings down in Sacramento, the second preseason game of the preseason slate for your Blazers. 2 of 4 games will be in the books at the end of the night. The Blazers did play their first preseason game just a few nights ago in Seattle. That's always weird. They weren't playing the Sonics. They were playing the Los Angeles Clippers up in Seattle. And they lost that game 101-99. And we talked about it on the 5th quarter. And there was things to take away from this game. I mean, there's things you like. There's things you don't like. I'm not one to get too high or low on a preseason game. But you do need to look at some things and hope that those aren't true causes for concern as the year moves forward, okay? So let's look at the starting lineup, okay? So you had Toumani Camara, Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, Scoot Henderson, and Chris Murray. Anthony Simons wasn't playing as he was dealing with a right knee soreness, I believe it was. Shaden Sharp is out with the labrum tear. Robert Williams has a hamstring issue. Matisse Thybulle was dealing with an issue as well. Just some soreness, nothing major, right? And Denny Avdia didn't play as he was observing Yom Kippur. So there you go. Those guys didn't play. So that's why you get the makeshift opening starting lineup. And Chris Murray, he, had a pretty good game. He had 9 points. DeAndre Ayton had 8 points, 2 of 2 from beyond the arc. 2 3-pointers for him is nice to see. Didn't get involved in the offense too much. 3 of 5 overall. So you'd like to see that one hopefully change tonight in Sacramento as you start to, kick the wheels on things, shake the dust off. It is going to be extra interesting tonight because I don't know if anyone has noticed this, but Chauncey Billups will actually not be in the house tonight. He is out of town. He is at the Basketball Hall of Fame ceremonies. So assistant coach Nate Borkran will fill in as the head coach tonight. So you don't get Chauncey in here. We'll see how that impacts the rotations and the lineups for your Portland Trail Blazers. But one thing that is for certain that I know Blazer fans want to see here in game 2 of the preseason is just a much better performance from Scoot Henderson. He had a not so great night at the office up in Seattle. He had just 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 of 16 shooting. That is the big one for me. 4 of 16 shooting. It just doesn't cut it in the long run. You need him to be better on that end, and I don't know what it is. I don't know how you get Scoot to be the Scoot that we want Scoot to be, that the Blazers want Scoot to be, fans want Scoot to be, right? I watch the games right now, and again, my caveat to all this is it's preseason. I'm not getting too high or too low. There are things to watch for, though, and if these things are recurring, on December 1st, right, a month into then I start to worry a little bit about what we're getting from Scoot because we need Scoot to be a great point guard. We need him to be a player that was worthy of taking 3rd overall, right? And so a 4 of 16 night, struggling from the floor, having poor turnovers, 7 turnovers in all, is not what you want to see happen. 7 turnovers, just 3 assists. You look at how the offense was flowing, and within those turnovers, there was a couple that I thought were just poor decisions, but there was also a couple that were just communication breakdowns between he and his teammates. I think there was 2 of them where there was a lob attempt to Donovan Clingan where Clingan didn't really go up as fierce as he could have. I mean, the pass wasn't great, but you get a turnover on that one. There was an entry pass to Donovan Clingan that ended up being a turnover. Again, maybe if Donovan was just a little more aggressive to the ball and Scoot put just a little more zip on it, that one's converted to points. He also had, a turnover where he lobs up to DeAndre Ayton, and Ayton wasn't expecting the lob, so he didn't even go up for the ball. And it was a quick turnover. So hopefully you start to get those communication issues out of the way, bring that turnover number down. But regardless of that, the shooting numbers still need to go up. 4 of 16, 25% from the floor, 1 of 6 from deep is just not going to cut it for Scoot Henderson. And if 1 for 6 from deep is his norm and he can't get that 3-point shot to go, then maybe you just need to stop making that part of your offense. Find a way to get involved other ways, right? I don't know what it is, but those things do need to be fixed. If you're Scoot Henderson, I know the coaching staff is on top of that. But man, the poor shooting night was just not the way Blazer fans wanted to see preseason start for their coveted now second-year point guard. Now, for me, I watch him play, and I still see the talent there. Without a doubt, I see the talent there. But, man, he needs to loosen up. Like, he looks to me nothing like he did in those highlights that we saw coming out of the G League with the G League Ignite, where he's just kind of playing loose and free and was just a highlight machine. Like, he feels like he's just playing so tense, right? Like, just, oh, my goodness. Like, I don't know what it is, but everything about it looks tense. It's like that person who can't stop shrugging for some reason. You're like, relax the shoulders, and then they relax. Like, see how much better it is? Like, yeah. And then as soon as they start doing something, the shoulders come up, everything gets nice and tight, right? Relax. I mean, that was the thing when I played baseball too. Like, coaches always got on me. Like, I'm in the batter's box. Burkhart, relax. You're too tense. You can't do anything when you're too tense. Yeah, yes, coach. And you start to fix it. No, you're like, oh, that's really weird. Because when I relaxed, I played better. I hit the ball better. It's really weird. Like, he's playing just way too tense right now. I don't know how you fix that. You would hope maybe last year he played tense. You're like, yeah, I get it. The jitters. You're a rookie. You're learning. You got to get that out of your system. Got to play with confidence. And he's not playing with a ton of confidence, I don't feel. For a guy, he talks like he knows what he's talking about. He talks like he has a ton of confidence. He's not playing like it yet. And you need to get to that point to really, I think, to get the best out of Scoot. I think you'll do it. I think you still got plenty of time to unlock that. Again, preseason game 1, I'm not going to say that everything is lost already, but you do see things you want to work on. When you talk about playing loose, though, and getting the best out of your players because they're playing loose, I look at someone like Toumani Camara. Toumani Camara comes in last year, forces his way into the starting lineup, finds his niche as a defensive guy, starts to find the offense as the season goes along. And you look at this first preseason game, everyone praised him. He was good on both sides of the ball. Ended the game with 19 points. He had 9 rebounds, 3 assists, a blocked shot even, right? Finished 5 of 9 from the floor. That's a very, very good performance from your starting small forward in that situation. Now, when the team's fully healthy, he's probably not your starting small forward because you're probably going to go with some lineup of Ant, Sharp, Denny Avdia, Jeremy Grant, and DeAndre Ayton to start the season. But you have this guy now on your bench who's going to add to your rotations, might end up being your starting small forward in the long run, depending on how things go. But one of the reasons he's playing so well is playing loose, playing free. It's not playing tense, right? I think you even look at a guy like Chris Murray in that game. Doesn't look tense. Looks like he's playing just a little bit loose, a little bit more free. Now you have Delano Banton, who came off the bench. I know a lot of fans love him. I've loved him since day one, right? And some people came out of that game thinking he might be the team's best point guard right now, right? I mean, he did have 5 assists on the night, only 1 turnover. So again, that turnover to assist ratio, pretty good. Not great shooting. He's not a great shooter in general. 3 of 11 on the night. So I don't know if that's what you want out of your point guard. But the thing is for Delano, when you watch him, he plays loose, plays free. He might have bad nights, but he's never bottled up. He's never playing tight, right? And so if his numbers are slightly better than Scoot when Scoot is tight, imagine how good Scoot is if Scoot just played loose. That's what I want to see. I'm pretty sure that's what you want to see as well. Do you have thoughts on Scoot? Grab your phone or your computer, jump on the old Twitter app, now X, formerly known as Twitter. Send me messages at Chris J. Burkhart. We can talk about your thoughts on the Blazers. You can go over to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and you can join the conversation there where Daniel says, yo. I say yo back to Daniel Berry Sports. You can also grab your phone. 503-248-0620 is your telephone number if you want to get on as well. Of course, this is the pregame show. The postgame show is for all those phone calls where you all really want to vent. But those are my thoughts on Scoots. You look at the rest of the lineup in this one. Again, I hinted at it, but DeAndre Ayton, solid game, but the 3 of 5 ain't gonna fly. Like, you need him to get more involved. And I thought last year when you watched the Blazers when they were playing their best was when he was getting up a lot of shots and was working within the offense, right? And the offense was kind of going through him. So 5 attempts is just too low, in my opinion, for DeAndre Ayton. I mean, Chris Murray had 7, Scoot had 16, Grant had 8, Tamani had 9, Jabari had 7, Delano had 11, Repair had 7. These are all these guys who had more shot attempts than DeAndre Ayton. I think you need to get him more involved in that offense to see the positives of that in the long run. I think he's very, very good. He can hit that mid-range jumper. He can attack the rim. He can do so many things to open up the offense. Got to get him the ball. Got to get him involved, right? Speaking of Blazers big men, there was also the preseason debut. Again, kudos to Travis Demers on the call last night when Donovan Clingan hit a shot and said it's his first preseason bucket. I think, oh, it's his first NBA bucket. No, it's not. It's not his first NBA points. Preseason doesn't count. If preseason did count, then all the points that LeBron James scored in the preseason would be added to his career total of points. They're not, because preseason does not count. But Donovan Clingan still went out there, looked good. He looked like a big man. He looked like a rookie. Looked like might have been a little bit tired by the end of it, but he finished the night 3 of 5 shooting. Did hit a 3-pointer. He had 5 rebounds as well. Only 3 personal fouls, which is good. Had a single block shot. Ended the night with 7 points. And it was like, I thought the best way of putting it, we were talking about this in like a Blazer forum, and someone just said he just looked big and he looked tired. And I think that's true. He is a hulking man. That is for sure. He is huge. And once he figures out how to move within the NBA offenses and defenses, I think he's going to be a really good player. I really think the Blazers might have got a steal in that draft. You've heard Joe Cronin talk about it. He didn't think they were going to be there at 7. He thought either one of the teams ahead of the Blazers were going to draft him, or a team outside was going to try to trade up to get him, because there was a lot of people wanting him. And then when the Blazers took the floor, or the podium, there you go, that's the word, to announce their draft pick, he was available. And it was pretty easy where they went. So as you continue to, try to consider what you have with Donovan and you have with Ayton, you obviously have Dwop Reith on the bench, who played 12 minutes in this game. Blazers got some decisions to make with their rotation, that's for sure. But good to see Donovan Clingan getting out there, shaking off the opening night jitters, having a good game. Hopefully he plays even better tonight as the Blazers go down to Sacramento for their second of 4 preseason games. We're going to take a quick break here on Blazers Game Day. When we come back, we're going to head to the Coach's Corner. We're going to hear what now Hall of Fame basketball player Chauncey Billups had to say after the Blazers game up in Seattle on Friday. This is Chris Burkhardt here on Blazers Game Day on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. It is now time for the Coach's Corner. We didn't get to him on the fifth quarter. He must have been taking his time enjoying Seattle up there. I don't blame him. Nice to be in Key Arena, get some NBA action going on. But let's take a chance to hear him now. Here is what Coach Billups had to say following that loss to the Clippers.
So, Coach, just in general, your thoughts on the first preseason game?
It was good to play a game. You know, our guys are pretty antsy to go out and play against somebody else. But I thought we struggled, though. Really did. I thought their physicality early in the game had an impact on us. We turned it over early, and even when we didn't turn it over, it just wasn't clean at all, you know. But so I thought we struggled, you know, as a group, to be honest with you. But it was just good to get out there and get one in.
What did you think of Donovan after he got through his first shift?
I thought it was okay. To me, they scored a little bit too easy on him down there. You know, I've been trying to teach him and talk to him. He gets his hands down low when he's down there, and I'm saying, I don't want you to steal basketballs. I want you to block shots. So getting his hands up is just kind of a bad habit that, you know, young kids have. But other than that, I thought he did a really good job of rolling, collapsing the defense. You know, so I thought he was okay.
On the physicality thing, is that just you guys need more reps, like more like actual playing basketball reps, or is that a focus thing?
No, I think we definitely need reps, but I think it's an experience type of thing. You know, that they had a lot of experienced guys out there, guys that have played a lot in the playoffs, and you know we don't. So they knew going in, like these guys are young. Let's try to impose our will. But we talked about it early, you know, we tried to protect ourselves from that, but sometimes it just has to happen so they can kind of learn, you know.
Interesting late game situation there in your first preseason game to be able to at least get some reps there. How did you feel like you guys performed in that last 10 seconds?
You know, not bad. I was really happy and proud of us for causing that turnover, you know, that ended up getting us down the floor, and then we almost caused another one, you know, on the inbounds play. So I thought our defense was really good. And Delano ended up getting a good shot. You know, I was hoping it was going to be a three anyway.
What were your thoughts on Scoot?
I thought he struggled a little bit today. You know, I thought he was so excited to play that I thought it kind of overtook him a little bit, to be honest. You know, some of his decisions were a little bit late. You know, he hadn't played a game in a long time, you know, so I thought his timing was a little bit off. His decisions was a little bit off. But for the most part, he didn't get to the rim like he has been getting to the rim. But again, you're playing against a different team, different coverages, different guys. But I know he was happy to just get that game out of the way, you know.
You like the pace?
Not great, but I thought their full court pressure kind of impacted that, to be honest. And then also their offensive rebounding really hurt us, you know. Like I say all the time, you can't run without the ball. So if you don't do a good job of rebounding, you're not going to be able to run. So I didn't think our pace was very good tonight.
I like what you saw out of Rayon tonight.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. I thought Roops was really good. I thought his full court pressure turned the game around for us. It really did. It slowed them down. He's picking up turning guys. It made them like second guess what they were doing. And even I thought he did a good job offensively too. Roops did a good job.
Looked like Tumani was one of the guys that benefited the most with the uptick in pace in a couple of possessions. Is that something you're kind of looking for him to be with that second half?
Yeah, what you're saying from him is, you know, he's one of the guys that I thought coming back after the summertime that kind of took a step, you know. Tu's been really good on both sides of the ball all camp, and I thought he did the same today.
There you have Coach Billups after the game. Pretty hyped is not the word, but you know he liked what he saw from guys like Tamani Kamara. He was even asked there about Ryan Rupert. Rupert, 25 minutes, 3 of 7 shooting, got active on the boards, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He was doing a little bit of everything, and I think personally, I think Ryan Rupert he's a player that I want to see progress and see how he can be in the long run. He's still kind of raw, right? And he didn't get a ton of play last year, but he's one of those guys, in my opinion, that can get to the back end of the rotation and maybe by year 3 kind of be a legit rotation player. I mean, you look at some of the players that have kind of played in that role for the Blazers. You look at guys like even Nasir Little, right? Watched his progression year after year and how he started to fit into that Blazers lineup a little bit. You look at even Anthony Simons, right? Anthony didn't play a lot that rookie year and slowly started to build up what they wanted. Now here he is, best player on the team. So I would love to see Rupert get these runs and continue to get better. He's a long, lengthy guy, kind of built in that prototypical 3-and-D mold. An easy comparison because of the connections to Nick Batum, but I think if you can make him a Nick Batum type player, yeah, that's the kind of guy that you want on your team. I mean, look at Nick Batum. It's crazy to even think about, but you think about the team with Wes and Nick and LaMarcus Aldridge and Robin Lopez, and here's Nick Batum still putting up good minutes, solid minutes on playoff contending teams. And the Blazers really have struggled to find a legit 3-and-D starting small forward ever since Nick Batum left. Like, it has been a long, long time since you had a guy at that position that you can just kind of hang your hat on he's going to have great games and he's going to bring it on both ends. So if Roops can continue to build in that mold, that'd be great. And you got Toumani Camara, who I think sky's the limit for that guy. I think he's only going to get better and better and better. Love his game. I know Blazer fans love his game. And again, with Roop, like, I'm not saying that Rupert is going to go be Nick Batum. I'm just saying, I want to see those. I want to see that progression. I want to see this young kid just get better and better and better. That'd be pretty nice to see. A couple other Blazers in this one. Dwap Reith, like I said earlier, 11 minutes, 4 points, couple boards. Wasn't asked to do too much. I want to know where he fits in long-term plan-wise, because I know Chauncey likes him. I know last year he just kind of burst on the scene. His ability to space the floor and shoot so well for a center is really, really a coveted tool in the current landscape of the NBA. So you almost got to find ways to get him on the court too. I want to know how well can Dwap and Ayton maybe play next to Klingon. Like, I'm not looking for a DeAndre Ayton being the starting power forward by any means. No. But I think he can run situations where he does play next to Klingon in spurts. Maybe Dwap Reith plays next to Klingon in spurts. So I like that. And I want to know how Dwap Reith fits into that. And then tonight, of course, we'll see when we get some updated injury reports from the Trailblazers. Kind of who's in your lineup tonight. And maybe do we see Ant? Do we see Matisse? Do we see, some more versatility within that lineup? Because again, that first preseason game, you didn't have a good plethora of players. You had two potential starters out, and then a great rotation player, Matisse Thybulle, out, and that's where things really do get interesting. Because let's think about that for a second. Okay, so if those guys are healthy, where does everyone slot in? Okay, so Chris got the start here at guard, but that backup 2-guard spot probably ends up going to Matisse, right? Matisse is a guard, small forward tweener. You can put him at that guard position just fine. You have Ant and Scoot, Advia and Toumani Camara, Jeremy Grant, and you still got to find Delano Banton some run. You got Toumani Camara, who could play the 4 as well, DeAndre Ayton, who you might be able to bounce back with Donovan Klingon, Dwap Reith. So now the interesting parts, you start going there, right? And I'm just eager to see Denny Advia as well get in that lineup. So I want to get this team healthy, and I want to see what they can do. I'm not completely sold that you have to tank, at least not in the first week of the season. Put it together, see what you got, because I think there's some good things to see. Now, I haven't seen the updated health update for our Trailblazers yet, but for the Sacramento Kings, who they are taking on tonight, Kevin Huerter is out with a left shoulder injury. Devin Carter is out with a left shoulder injury. Trey Lyles out with a left groin injury. And Orlando Robinson out with a left knee injury. So, I don't know. Teams are... Why do you have to do an injury report for the preseason? Like, you should just be able to be like, Trey Lyles out. We know he's part of the rotation. We don't want to play him. Like that should be an acceptable preseason injury report, right? Anthony Simons out. Don't want to risk injury in preseason. Acceptable. That should be allowed to be put on to the injury report. I'm going to vie for this. I'm going to battle for this. I'm going to send my emails directly to the league office so I can impact some change here. But that's your update from the Sacramento Kings, and we'll get you an update on your Portland Trailblazers as soon as we get one. But we'll take a quick break here on Blazers Game Day. When we come back, we will play some other audio from that game up in Seattle. We got a chance to listen to Donovan Clingan after his preseason debut. Also got a chance to hear from Scoot Henderson after his performance that left a little bit to be desired. But again, in Scoot's defense, it's just game one of the preseason. You got plenty more coming. Going to shake this rust off and hopefully have a great start to the year once the Warriors head to town to start off the 82-game run that is the NBA regular season. Chris Burkhardt here with you on Blazers Game Day. We carry on after the break right here in your home, the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhart here with you. You can follow me on X or Twitter, whichever one you prefer to call it, at Chris J. Burkhart. Send me all your comments and concerns. You can jump on YouTube, type in Rip City Radio 620, and we'll pop up there. Join the YouTube chat. You can also grab those phones and dial in 503-248-0620. Call me from wherever you're at on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon. I came straight from the pumpkin patch. I was out at the pumpkin patch with the family for a little, the cheer team went out there. So oh my gosh, it was so beautiful, but it was crazy. I don't know what's going on with this weather. Is this whole global warming thing or climate change that we talk about? Because like 70 degrees and not a chunk of mud in sight at the pumpkin patch. I don't think I have ever once gone to the pumpkin patch where I wasn't slipping and sliding in the mud at some point. I was like sitting there, like trying to de-layer because I was just sweating. And I'm like, okay, I need the Oregon autumn weather to roll in where I get just the temps fine. Just give me a little bit of cloud cover, maybe a nice little breeze. Like there was no breeze even. If there would have just been a nice little breeze, right? Oh, it just would have been perfect. I mean, the weather's already beautiful out there, but man, I didn't expect to have sweat dripping down my back in the middle of October without being bundled up, you know. Usually you're sweaty because you're like, oh, I'm so sweaty because I got a long sleeve shirt on. I got my long johns on. I got my jacket on over that. Over that, I have another jacket. Nope, don't need that. Wasn't even bundled up. It's so darn beautiful out there. So hopefully you're enjoying the day. And you can have YouTube on your phone or listen into the Game Day on the iHeartRadio music app. All sorts of ways to tune in, whichever way you're tuning in. We appreciate you. Also, shout out to Michael Shacker, who built all the elements for the show. I put Mike Oakes to task the other day. I called him out and I was like, "This is a great song pick. Is this Seven Dust under this sounder?" And he's like, "I have no idea. I didn't make it, and I don't even know a Seven Dust song." He was a little confused when I asked him that one, but I was like, "Oh, Shacker made him pretty sure it was Seven Dust." So we'll hear that in the fifth quarter. What we want to hear now, though, is we want to hear from some Portland Trailblazers. The media that was up in Seattle got to talk to Donovan Clingan and company after that loss to the Clippers. Again, it was a 101-99 loss to the Clippers up in Seattle in the first game of the preseason. Not a bad showing for the Blazers. Definitely some things to work on, which is why you have the preseason, right? When everyone gets upset, like we dove in on Scoot earlier, but when everyone gets upset with how things went down, it's like this is why you have preseason, right? Scoot had a lot of turnovers that were communications breakdowns. Well, you have preseason to work on that communication and knock those things out, right? It's a lot easier to have those turnovers in practice. I mean, the team you're playing knows all your sets and knows everything, right? So it's not a real game situation. When you get in the preseason, you get in the real game situation, then you got to work on that communication, figure everything out. They'll knock off the dust, and hopefully Scoot has a bounce-back game here against Sacramento in about an hour and a half. Tip-off time right here on Rip City Radio 620. Speaking of Scoot, let's head back to the locker room in Seattle on Friday night. Hear what the Blazers point guard had to say following that loss.
So overall, how do you feel like you played tonight?
Like missed a couple finishes where I know I can make. But first game, preseason game, not really taking it to heart. Just trying to come back to the next game and lock in really.
Chauncey said you were kind of excited for this night, and that maybe you kind of got a little wound up, and maybe that impacted you a little bit.
It definitely felt good. It felt good to get back on the floor again, and I feel more comfortable, so I'm ready to really hoop again.
But you weren't overly excited to where it impacted you?
Nah. I was excited though, for sure.
So can you just talk about like some of the chemistry with the pick and roll, what you were seeing tonight with that?
Yeah, I seen Zubac. He was trying to like be in like the middle kind of, and then in the drop, and then the one where I threw it up, and I think somebody else stole it, but that was the time where it was a roller and it was a good read. It's just we got to stay connected on that. So the more we play together, it's gonna be easier for us.
What were your impressions of Donovan this first game?
Fit right in. Donovan fit right in, man. Seeing his first shot, checking out. I hope that was a big confidence booster for him. I'm always just trying to give him confidence with my words, but it's only so much that somebody else could do for you. So
overall, you guys hung with them. They're a pretty good team. You were missing a lot of key guys. True. I'm just saying you were missing a lot of key guys, though.
Yeah.
So in fact, I felt like you guys played pretty well, considering a lot of people playing different positions that don't always play. And
Yeah, like I said, it's preseason still, so I think the more we play together, the more we find a real rhythm. So I'm excited for the real season.
How do you think Tumani's just overall activity impacted the game tonight?
Tumani's always impacting the game. We got a few players that's always just everywhere on both sides of the ball. And ready for whatever. And Tumani, he excels at that. You know what I mean? On both sides of the ball, do whatever it takes to get the win.
And there you hear from Scoot Henderson after the game. And I think he even said kind of what we've been saying. It's like just there's some communication things that need to be fixed. You need to get in line with everybody, make sure those things get worked on, and then you're going to start to maybe knock some of those turnovers out of your system. And sometimes it's hard to do. But, again, that's why you have preseason. You got to get in here, get these reps in. That's the only way you're going to know how to fix it. Get the reps in, and then start building that connection with each other, that cohesiveness, that chemistry. I mean, that's the first game that Scoots played with Donovan Clingan, right? I mean, that matters. So little things like that impact the game, and then hopefully show things that you can work on in the long run as you continue to get through the preseason and work your way to the regular season home opener against the Warriors. Another player that had a chance to talk to the media, and you heard Scoot mention him right there, was Donovan Clingan, made his debut. And I do love Scoot saying, what do you think about, he's going to fit right in. And I hope he does. He's such a big, just menacing body on the defensive end of things. I think he's going to make a really, really big impact as he matures and learns his spot in the NBA. I think Walker Kessler type is a good comp to how Walker Kessler came in. And yeah, he was part of the Gobert trade, and no one kind of knew what to expect. But then defensively, he made such an instant impact. And I kind of hope Donovan Clingan can do the exact same for your Portland Trailblazers. Let's take a second now to listen to the Blazers rookie big man.
So Donovan, just your thoughts on your first NBA game, preseason albeit.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was great. To be out there with competing against another team other than our guys. It felt good, but I've still hard on myself. It's definitely things I could have done better, but I feel like it gave me a good feel for what it's going to be like this year, and having that as first game. I'm excited.
Can you give me maybe one thing you feel like you did well, and then one thing maybe you feel like you didn't do so well?
Yeah, I feel like I was, really rolling to the rim off the ball screen pretty hard, getting off those ball screens fast, which was, opening up threes. I just kind of wish I had a couple more block shots to protect that rim on those floaters a little bit.
Now that you've actually played in a game, how do you compare the physicality of this level to college?
Yeah, I mean, it's way more physical. I mean, these dudes are strong, they're much older, you know what I mean? So it's the physicality is on another level.
How did you feel how you handled the pace of the game and the speed out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think I handled it pretty well. My conditioning feels great, just up and down the floor, multiple trips, and wasn't really getting tired. So, that's something I really worked on this offseason, and coming into the NBA is my conditioning and making sure I can stay up with the pace, and it showed tonight.
Offensively, you got in the pocket in that 4-on-3 on the short roll a couple of different times, made a couple passes. Were you happy at least with kind of where you were able to find those spaces against NBA defenses?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like just being able to pick the defense apart and find what's open, and when they're blitzing those ball screens, doing the short roll and finding the cutters, finding the shooters. I mean, I think I probably should have lobbed it to Tamani twice, but you know what I mean? But yeah, just keep learning, keep getting better, and got a lot more games left.
Chauncey talked about emphasizing getting your hands up more down low on post defense. Can you talk about just how that went tonight?
Yeah, I mean, just less fouling, less reaching at the ball, and just walling up. It's hard to shoot over me, so. Excuse me, sorry. Just being able to wall up and not foul, and just keep my verticality.
When you made that three?
Felt good, looked good, and hey, I went in. I was happy.
Also with the alley-oop at the end?
Yeah. I mean, a lot felt good. We've been really emphasizing that, the past couple of weeks, working on the ball screen game, pick and roll. So just be able to finish going that fourth quarter and get one of those to fall. We tried a couple throughout the game, and felt good.
There you hear from Donovan Clingan, and I do appreciate the fact he said the NBA is a physical game, right? It's a little more physical than college. This is on the heels of him saying, oh yeah, the practices were harder at UConn, right? Well, yeah, this ain't UConn anymore. It's the NBA. It's wild, and you're only playing in a preseason game. I think a preseason game is a lot more physical and all that. Wait till the regular season rolls around. Wait till you're fortunate enough to make your playoff debut, man. We've all covered those games and know how much crazier a playoff game is than a regular season game, especially with the amount of physicality you see. So it's good that I think he's built for it though. He's not a small framed guy. He is built to be physical. That is his game. He enjoys it. He knows physicality when he sees it. Definitely looking forward to watch him progress, just like I am all the other guys I've already mentioned. I'm excited for the season. I really, truly am. I don't care what happens win or loss wise right now. All I care about is seeing some of these young guys grow and giving Joe Cronin and company a true idea of how the future is and what road they're going to take. Right? That's what I want to see. I want to see the young guys mature and become NBA basketball players. It's going to be a fun ride if I do say so myself. But to get to the end of that ride, you got to start with your preseason games, and that is preseason game number 2 of 4 tonight against the Sacramento Kings. Tip-off in just a little bit over an hour right here on Rip City Radio. And when we come back from our quick break, we'll give you our keys to the game. What do I think the Blazers need to do to pick up a win at Golden One Center? Chris Burkhardt here with you on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. All right, it is now time for our keys to the game here on Blazers Game Day. And I'm going to agree with one that Kirk posted in the YouTube channel. He says, I just want up tempo. And I'm going to agree with that. I think the Blazers can get a lot out of this team if they push that tempo. I don't like them going slow, man. I want them to go move the ball fast. I almost want them to force Scoot Henderson into making quick decisions because of it, so that they're not going into these long, laboring half-court sets where he starts overthinking. It's like forgetting Sarah Marshall, right? When he learns to surf, when P.O.P. learns to surf. Peter Brenner, come on now. Great movie, by the way. Go watch it. When he learns to surf, and it's like, dude, don't think, just do. Just do, right? No, you're doing too much. Do less, right? Like just do. That's what I want Scoot to do, is to just do. Be Scoot, man. Don't overthink the situation. Get out in tempo, use your athleticism, make quick hit decisions. And I think if you do that, I think that will be a good thing, not only for the team, but I think it'll be good for Scoot Henderson. Secondarily, I think box score wise, this team needs to take care of the ball. Okay. I mean, you look at the game against the Clippers, they had 17 turnovers to the Clippers 10. Those turnovers turn into easy points, and it definitely impacts a game when you lose a game by 2 points, right? You got to take care of the ball. That was the bugaboo all year last year, was bad ball control, right? Take care of the ball. Don't turn the thing over. It's absolutely crucial to the success in the long run. Because you look at the points off those turnovers, the Clippers had 23 points off turnovers. 23 points off turnovers in a game that was decided by 2 points. So I mean, again, keep the ball in possession. You're going to eliminate those easy points. Now, just because you turn the ball over doesn't mean that the other team scores, right? But when you do turn the ball over, it does mean one thing for certain. It means you didn't get a shot up on your offensive set. And if you don't get a shot up, you have a 0% chance of getting points. That's important. Again, in this game, the Clippers got up 8 more shots than the Blazers, made 3 more of them. In those 8 shots, they shot 3 of 8 on those 8 extra shots. So those extra shots mattered. They came into consideration late. So don't turn the ball over. That's big. Don't turn the ball over. And then defensively, I want to see this team continue to be aggressive defensively down low. Right? I want to see Donovan Clingan have more than 1 block shot in this game. I want to see DeAndre Ayton have more than the 0 block shots he had last game. You have the size, you have the talent there. Be aggressive in the paint. I honestly wouldn't be that upset if I saw Donovan Clingan foul out in a preseason game right now. He did pick up 3 fouls, I believe it was, in that game. I'm looking at the box score. That's right. 3 fouls in that game against the Clippers. I would not be upset if he fouled out in this game, all because he was being aggressive defensively, especially at the rim, right? Being aggressive, trying to get block shots. And you know what? If you foul out in the preseason, it's fine, but you're going to start learning how you need to attack. Maybe you need to attack some of these guys just a little bit different than you would attack a guy attacking the rim. I said attack a lot in college, right? Look at guys like Ant, who is very, very talented around the rim. He's going to find ways to get shots up around you, right? Look at a guy like in Sacramento. Look at a guy like a DeMar DeRozan. Very, very talented in his ability to get shots around you. Sabonis is going to find ways to get shots up, whether he's backing you down and turn around jumpers, hooks, whatever. Very, very versatile offensive styles and tons of weapons for these guys to use. So sometimes you just got to be extra aggressive. And so that's what I want to see from Clingan and the Bigs tonight. Be aggressive, get some block shots, and continue to, again, find your footing here in the NBA, young fella. Because, again, I think Donovan Clingan's going to be very, very good at that position, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But to be good on that end, you got to make a few mistakes first, and you got to learn how to play it at this level. So do it tonight. Foul out. I don't care. Just be aggressive. I look at a lineup. I'm like, if I'm starting Ant and healthy Shaden Sharp and Denny Advia and Jeremy Grant and DeAndre Ayton, and then I got I got Klingent and Tamani and Matisse Thybulle and Scoot Henderson right now. Competitive in doing so because there's talent on the roster, as Kirk said. And I believe that. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for fun basketball, especially here early. Like, give me basketball that we can just enjoy watching, all right? Because that's sometimes the enjoyable basketball has been few and far between over the last year and a half. So give me enjoyable basketball. You look last year, at the end of the year, Blazer games were fun. Were they losing games? Yes. But were they playing a brand of basketball that was entertaining, that you enjoyed watching? Absolutely. When DeAndre Ayton was having big games and Tamani was having good games and Scoot was starting to round into form, those things were good. So hopefully that's what happens in the long run for these Blazers. Again, this is only game number 2 of 4 of the preseason. This one will be available on Blazer Vision if you happen to have Blazer Vision. I do believe Casey Holdall tweeted that just because of the way preseason stuff works, it will not be the Blazer broadcast. It'll be the Kings broadcast, but it will be available. The new partnership with Sinclair rolls out for that 4th place preseason game against Utah. And also keep in mind that Nate Borkran, the assistant coach, will be heading the Blazers tonight as Chauncey Billups is at the Basketball Hall of Fame ceremony. Blazers taking on the Kings here in about an hour's time right here on Rip City Radio 620. But coming up next, it is the Blazers pregame show with Chad Doing on the Blazers audio network. And don't go anywhere. He'll have you covered for pregame, then you'll get the game. And when it's all said and done, come right back here and we'll have the 5th quarter breaking what is hopefully a Blazer win down for everybody. We will talk to you on the backside of the game.